All right. This is In Liberty and Health. We're deviating from the usual foreign policy, whatever bullshit that we've normally been talking about. I should normally refrain from swearing for a little bit into the show. But yes, we have a heated debate, an absolute heated debate. I can't wait to do this. Everyone's going to be so excited. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check out all the links below to find me and everybody else and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's go. What is up, everybody? My name is Kyle Matovcik. I am the host of the In Liberty and Health podcast, where we talk all things liberty, health and wellness, and beyond. My hope is to encourage and spread the message of liberty and physical and mental well-being. I hope you enjoy all the topics we talk about with our guests. We're on all major streaming platforms, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Man, I'm doing as good as anyone can do getting buried by his 13-year-old son on leg day.
I'm not going to apologize for not being on this podcast because I got to go see Metallica. So if that's a problem, kiss my ass. Okay? All right.
We're here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the first official, and even if it's not the first official, it is now, Libertarian Party presidential debate. And if not, even if it isn't the first one, it's the only one that we're doing shirtless. And like, this is great fucking entertainment here. So make sure everybody listening right now, you got a good drink and you're ready to sit down, relax, and enjoy, because this is going to get pretty fucking heated. So the way I think this is going to go, first I'll let you introduce yourselves, and then maybe we'll do a couple-minute pitch as to why you guys should be the president of the Libertarian Party, and then we'll start doing some random questions, and of course we're going to field questions from the audience, and hopefully the more grotesque, the better. So I guess since it's Duke's first time on the show, Duke, go ahead, give an introduction to yourself, and then I'll throw it over to Toad for an introduction, and then we'll do a couple minutes on why you guys should be president of the United States, or the nomination for the Libertarian Party.
All right, well, hello, everyone. My name is Duke Chastain. I've been involved here for the last few years with the Florida Libertarian Mises Caucus and the party. We used to do a podcast of Swamp Creatures with some of my friends from the party down here, and I think I should be the presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party because I saw all these jokers and all these unserious individuals like Mike Tremont, Chase Oliver, this Lars Haggett, and I've said, if they can run, if any Tom, Dick, and Harry can run for president, why the fuck can't I? Because at least I know I'm a joke. And the Libertarian Party is showing itself to be a joke right now. And I'm running on the platform to demolish and end the National Libertarian Party, because if we believe in decentralization, we should not have a centralized authority in this party. And that is why I'm running, and to make some fart and dick jokes and to show my tits with Kyle. And that's why I'm here.
That's right.
All right. I like it. Toad.
Yeah, I'm Toad. I am on the Tower Gang podcast. I am, I guess, a well-known Liberty shit poster, and kind of the same as Duke. Why I got into this is, Ben from the Emo Caucus was basically like, the three candidates right now are essentially Mike Tremont, Lars, and Chase, and do you want to run? And I was like, and I'll instantly be like the front runner basically for the time being. Fuck yeah, I'll do it. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to just do more shit posting basically, and just shit post the hell out of these guys, attack these motherfuckers. None of them are relevant. None of them should be the nominee. I should. And I'm basically just going to run it like I'm LPNH. That is my goal here. And just to clarify, Duke, Chase is the one who's actually a faggot.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't sure about that because it's really confusing with how some of these guys act,
Yeah, and I will say that the reason why we did the Reno Reset, so I am in the LP. I'm a lifetime fucking member, which I became a lifetime member on the contingency that Josh Smith became the VC. So that happened. I became a lifetime member. I am in the Massachusetts Mises Caucus, loosely at least at this point, the LPMA, and that's how I got into it. I was a delegate in Reno, and the Ron Paul revolution is the reason why we took over the party, and none of those three guys represent that at all. So I was like, somebody has to do it. I'm a much better representative for it than any of those guys. I am a Ron Paul libertarian plus shit posting, and that's why I'm doing it.
So what you're saying is that neither of you guys have your pronouns in your bio, or that gender isn't a binary.
That is correct.
Well, one of the presidential nominees, and I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out who it is,
Jacob
did indeed
Hornberger.
have that in our bio. Yeah, it was Jacob Hornberger.
Josh Smith.
Yeah, it was Josh Smith. He had his pronouns in his bio.
It could be Chase. I wouldn't know because he blocked me.
We're off to a pretty good start, Duke. Well, what about you?
I don't know if he's blocked me yet. I don't really pay much attention to what Chase Oliver does, other than showing up to the Florida, convention a couple months ago and saying that he was running for president for reasons. But I know that Josh Eagle guy blocked me for a good reason.
How is he blocked you and not me, Duke? I'm like nearly his official reply guy, and I shit on him so much. Maybe he just enjoys it. Maybe I'm just better at shit posting than you, and he's such a masochist. He doesn't block me.
He probably only blocks the people that he actually thinks his wife might find attractive.
So is this true? Is this true? Ben had a question. Well, I don't know if that's a question, more so a statement.
Yeah. Oh, it is true. It is absolutely true, and it's hilarious because before the show started, I was talking about how my asshole is in a bind right now because I had a bunch of hot sauce for lunch. Probably
What kind of hot sauce did you have?
Not the best idea. What
What kind of hot sauce was it?
It was the hot sauce that they have at Halal Guys, which I don't know if that's only a Northeast thing, but it's Middle Eastern food.
Is it shawarma, kebabs?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And they have like gyros and like plates with like rice and meat. Their hot sauce is insanely hot, and I get 4 times the recommended amount of that hot sauce. And in Reno, I was having a similar experience, but it was because the food was terrible or something. It was after the probably the Scott Horton breakfast maybe or whatever it was, and I was feeling it, man. Like my asshole was just gonna like become like a torrent basically, and I'm sitting there
like a geyser.
Yeah, and it was gonna explode. I'm sitting there at the Massachusetts table, and we are like in the part of the convention where there was some vote that we had to change the rules because we were trying to speed it up because the faggots in the party were trying to slow the Reno reset down.
Whoa, hold on. Libertarians at a libertarian festival or a convention trying to slow things down. You're telling me that happens?
Never happened once.
Never happens.
Oh yeah,
no. I remember last year in Florida, it was horrible. They spent the entire day on Sunday debating on whether or not they should add secession to the Florida Constitution or whatever Florida platform, and it was the most autistic thing after another. But they eventually got it, so it was pretty good. So I'll give them credit where that is due. But sorry, Todd, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, my stories are way too long-winded, which is probably why I should be president, because I can get up there and just speak off the cuff and just not shut up, but people will hate me for it. But yeah, so I was about to shit myself, I was going to take a dump on the convention floor pretty much, and we had that vote that was going to speed up the entire process basically and change the rules, and we needed to do that so we could get most of our agenda through and actually take over the party in the 2 or 3 days that we were there. That vote succeeded by very little. I don't know if it was a single vote, but it was pretty close to that. And I say that part of the reason for that was because I was able to really bear down, clench my asshole, and not have to shit. Yeah, get through that one vote.
Fucking put a bucket behind your seat or something.
Yeah. It was the most important vote. I stapled my ass shut. It was the most important vote in the history of the Libertarian National Convention, and it's a not very known fact that my asshole saved it. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so I guess we could say then that it's unlikely, we can't say impossible, that you were gay, because I would think if you're gay, things might be a little bit looser down there. But I hold out the reservation to still be wrong on this.
I mean, he could be a power bottom. I mean, that is a possibility.
Incredibly elastic asshole.
I just know that when I go out on the town, I do have many gay men thinking that I'm a bear and hitting on me. I think,
me too.
Yeah, I get hit on by more men than women.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like a low bar. I mean, I think we've all probably gotten it. The only story I really have of a gay bar, I remember my buddy and I were bar hopping down around in Pittsburgh, and I remember there were shirtless bartenders, and that should have like been a dead giveaway, but of course I'm too fucking stupid, so I go walking in the bar anyways.
It's Florida. You're just like, this is the thing, right?
Well, no, it was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, it wasn't Florida. Oh shit. All right,
No. Well, in Florida, you know, Ron DeSantis puts out the gays for execution, or at least so I'm told.
I mean,
so I go.
all right.
We'll get the policy here in a minute.
Okay.
I walk into the bar, and then my friend is like, "It's a gay bar, right?" And I walked right back. I'm like, "Why'd you let me walk into a fucking gay bar like that?" And like I said, it should have been a dead giveaway. There's a shirtless dude outside checking everybody's ID, and then there's shirtless dudes walking around chest out and, you know, kind of flopping their arms around, giving everybody drinks. So, I mean, that was like a dead giveaway that this is like a fucking, you know, pure pee-pee toucher zone.
But I mean, that could work out to your advantage. Though. You could have been drinking free all night long.
Exactly. That's why I do it.
Them the whole time.
Dude, there's a gay bar in Boston, and they have a pretty good karaoke setup. I'll go there. I'll do the karaoke. Mm-hmm. These guys think I'm gay. They'll hit on me. They'll give me free drinks, and it's an awesome time.
Yeah. Just make sure you never get roofied. Just make sure, all right? Because you might not want to go back to that place.
Is that why I felt extra drunk a couple of those times?
Yeah, that's why you woke up in an alley somewhere and you couldn't sit down for a few days. But
I thought it was just because I blacked out, and all I remembered was breaking up a fight between some homeless guys.
No, dude,
that was a different night.
Okay, yeah,
your asshole.
If there's homeless people fighting, you got to leave them fight. I've seen that shit before. I'm like, you know what, dude? I ain't getting tangled up in that shit. Let them homeless fuckers fight. They're fighting over like 2 teeth.
I did actually do that. But they asked me to do it, so that's why I did it. It was a different night.
People fighting. Friggin' once when I was in Belgium, because I lived over in Europe for 3 years when I was in the army, and we were in Belgium, bar hopping and everything.
Ooh, in Belgium, where the EU is, that's a disqualifier. Duke's out.
Well, we saw 2 Turks knifing some dude in the subway, and we had to go the other way.
Oh, Jesus.
Couldn't go in and get involved with it. And after we did a lot of bar hopping and nice beer gardens and everything, but yeah, that's a little too much.
Folks, you see, what we just witnessed there is that when Duke sees a fight on the street, he is a pussy and a coward, and he walks away. I use my tools of diplomacy to actually break up the fight and potentially save somebody. So that's your difference. I am your president.
Yeah. Well, I practice the art of isolationism, which is the true libertarian position I have. Yeah. If you see the Turks knifing someone, the best idea is to go the other way because you don't want any beef with those cockroaches.
All right. That's fair, yeah.
You just say we don't know the facts on the ground. Either that or it's like CIA manipulation.
Provoked, you know? NATO does like provoking things, and Turkey is in NATO.
Ben says, who better to drain the swamp than a toad? I don't know, man.
No, I don't know. Toads live in the swamp. What was that?
Duke, what'd you got?
Was that?
Oh, no, Duke, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said toads live in the swamp, so why would he drain it?
That's if anything, they probably want a little bit more water around. So I guess let's go with the first question. This is going to be a big one first. The JQ. Are we going to banish all the J's from America, or what are we going to do? I guess, Toad, go ahead, since I think I gave Duke the reins first.
I will not say that we will, because I mean some of the
they donate a lot of money.
They have a lot of the wealth. Some of the J's are like libertarian, some of the best libertarian philosophers. So I wouldn't want to get rid of those. Wouldn't technically want to violate the NAP. Although I will say that probably, just based on the proportion of them who are in positions of power, if we were to actually get rid of them, I think we would probably be better off. I will say that.
So what you're saying is my statement about we could probably use a little bit more anti-Semitism in Congress. You think that stands true?
Oh yeah, we should we should go the McCarthy route, but instead of outing communists, we should be outing the Jays. But the problem with that is that it's like most of Congress, though.
You just gotta look for the curl of the nose, right?
Yeah, that's right. You got the hook. Oh shit, you're out. You're getting the hook now.
So my turn. Actually, I think that Israel is our greatest ally, and I would be waiting for all that AIPAC money to help boost me in this presidential election. I don't think we need to out any of the Jays. We need to let the Jays continue to grow as much as possible.
He's doing that thing. Yeah, he's doing that thing. Isn't it called what? Cat whistling? No, dog whistling.
Dog whistling. Yes. Bagel.
Yeah.
Whistling.
Well, as the emo caucus representative, one of my policies is to actually tear gas the country of Israel to make them cry.
Cry for the Palestinians and all
Make
the homes.
Israel emo again. Yeah, they should have tears for the Palestinians for what they're doing.
Yeah, well, how tolerant do you think Israel is of the emo music? I feel like they probably have like a lively nightlife, but like if you're not a J, then you might not get in.
Yeah, but they're listening to all that fucking what's that J music called? The klezmer music or whatever it is. That's what it's a fun time though. It's really danceable music. You can get in there. Yeah.
They are always dancing and bouncing around. You know, they dance when there's weddings. They dance when there's buildings falling down. It's really fun.
That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. Ben, make Israel emo again. I think I can get behind that.
Well, it made total sense because that was a bar mitzvah for the Twin Towers, so that's why they were dancing.
Jesus. You know, so my wife.
Bar mitzvah for Building 7, or was it?
I don't know. Building 7 wasn't a. I don't know. Was Building 7 a clit? Do they circumcise the clit?
One of the weirdest things that ever happened to me, my wife and I were up in New York about a month ago to meet Kelly Clarkson, and I was in the World Trade Center, and literally these couple of guys came up to me and they said, are you a J? And I said, no, I'm not. And then they didn't say anything to me afterwards. Yeah, in New York, literally in the World Trade Center.
Like no, you are. What?
He literally came up to me like, serious heart attack. Are you? And I'm like, no. It didn't say anything and just walked away. I'm like, that might have been one of the fucking weirdest experiences of my entire life.
Well, it clearly wasn't one of those black Hebrew Israelites because they will never leave you alone.
That's true.
I can't say I've seen them. I was watching a podcast today, and they were saying something about like this rapid and huge increase in anti-Semitism. I'm like, man, you know, I almost wish I could see it because seeing all the money we send to Israel and how much we kind of turn a blind eye to what they do. I think we really could use a few people that really don't like the Jays, and the people who don't like the Jays, it's on a very, very superficial level. Like she said something about like right wingers saying that, they say they control the media, the banks and everything. That's like two people, right? You have like Ryan Dawson and maybe Pete Quinones who will talk about stuff like that. And I'm not saying that, they say there's like some big J conspiracy, but you know what I'm referring to. But like who on the right is actually like anti-Semitic? I have no idea. They said Ron DeSantis is anti-Semitic, which is one of the funniest fucking things I've heard.
Well, it's one of those things. It's just like any other thing they throw at you, transphobe, anti-Semitic, bigot, whatever. It's just it's a club to beat you with.
I'm all of them, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all of them. I'm all the above.
Yeah, listen.
We're not talking to you, Kyle.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just circumcised, so people mistake me for a Jew. The JQ should not be something that is off limits. You should be able to discuss it.
Yeah.
Be able to discuss anything.
Okay, so maybe Ben. Yeah, Ben has a good point. I need to hear Duke and Toad define real emo in order for me to support them. All right, Duke, you go ahead on this one, and then Toad.
What is real emo? Dance mops. That's my answer.
Ooh, that is a good answer. I'm too autistic, so I was gonna say music that has like truly emotional lyrics, or lyrics like that are like almost like personal confessions.
Yeah, that was a lot.
You're really getting technical with this, Toad. I can honestly say, like, I've never spent more than like maybe 30 seconds listening to any emo music. So all I know is that they cry or scream or cut themselves. That's really the only things I'm aware of.
All three, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At the same time.
No, I was an emo kid, and as part of my platform states, back then when we were, like possibly confused teenagers, kind of depressed teenagers, that's what we would do. We would listen to emo music, help ourselves get through the days. We would not chop our dicks off, and so one of my aims is to eliminate transgenderism through going back to that state of affairs and listening to emo.
So they would just cut their wrists instead of cutting their balls off.
Exactly, it's a lot better.
That would solve a lot of problems.
But not cutting their wrists to form a fake penis for the woman.
Oh,
no skin grafts.
Right, exactly.
No. Well, see where you went.
No weenuses.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
see where you went emo. I went wigger. So
Weedus. Listen to Weedus, but no weenuses.
So it was all about what was it, sweatpants and dreadlocks back in the 90s, like some of the 90s hardcore basketball jerseys.
Oh yeah. That was more like I don't know, with the dreadlocks and stuff, that was more like wigger shit, right? Yeah, the wigger shit for sure.
That was me when I actually had hair.
Yeah.
You're getting there, Kyle. It's okay.
No, I'm slowly coming there.
Yeah,
slowly but surely.
Yeah, you're eventually going to be one of us here.
Yeah, more than likely. My wife keeps telling me, "Oh no, you can't shave it. You look too old." I'm like, "Come on! I think I got a good shaped head. I think it'll all be all right."
What is she going to leave you now that you think you're too old?
No.
For the younger model. I mean, you were talking about doing that the other day, so maybe she can do the same thing, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, all things considered equal. All right, so policy on Ukraine. I have an idea here, but I want to hear you guys first. As grotesque as possible, I guess I'll let Toad go first. What is the policy on Ukraine?
I call my policy Crimea River because I want the people who support Ukraine to be in tears and crying over what my policy is, which is to remove the U.S. from NATO and remove all U.S. troops and all foreign aid and military aid from Ukraine and get the fuck out of there. That's the policy.
Well, Toad, we're pretty close on that. I, too, would like to end all foreign aid to NATO, to Ukraine. I want to pull all troops out of Europe, actually, not just Ukraine.
I would agree as well.
At the border, northern border, not the southern border. And we got to keep those maple suckers out of this country. That's more important than the Russians going into Ukraine.
I would say that there might be a use for troops in Europe to keep the Middle Eastern refugees from getting in there and raping all the women.
Okay, well,
that hasn't been working at all, Toad.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Oh.
If we're going to stop that, we need to import more Turks.
So what are we going to? Yeah, what are we going to do about all the OnlyFans Ukraine women? That's a very, very pertinent and a very, very important question. Duke, you got to take this one first.
The OnlyFans Ukraine women, are they there for moral support?
What should we do about them? Should we liberate them to come, work in America, or what are we going to do?
My policy for that is it's twofold. We need to bring all those women here, and we need to give them to all of the virgins in the Libertarian Party so that they can actually get some pussy for once and not be as autistic, and maybe this party will have a chance of surviving.
Gotcha.
I love that. I love Ukrainian women, and as a connoisseur of women, I know that Ukrainians have some of the best titties that are out there. Oh. I want to save these women, and what I would do is hop in a sponsorship type program, kind of similar to what Duke is saying, but I would set it up such that lonely libertarian men would actually be the hosts of these women and have them come over that way, and then I'd be able to get one of them as well, so... At least one of them.
Are we gonna have a bunch of Ukrainian dreamers? Then is what you're saying?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a Ukrainian wet dream.
Oh man, I've seen that movie. Have you?
Yeah. Right after I watched Serbian film.
Oh my god! Oh shit! You've seen Serbian film?
Yeah.
Oh, you're like one of like 3 people I've known that actually seen that. Man, that is some fucked
You can
up
blame Jesse Bennett for that one.
All right. So what are we gonna do about Sam Bankman-Fried?
Ooh.
Public execution.
Oh. I can get down with this. the source OnlyFans ever.
Yeah, big hands. Oh yeah, the worst OnlyFans. Yeah, big hands, no shirts. Yeah, there you go, just for you. You can feel free to join us if you want. What should we do? What should we do with Sam Bankman-Fried? Where is he right? Where is he right now? Is he in prison?
I think he
released. All charges were just dropped on him.
So he's not in prison.
He is not.
Well, I think he should at least be in prison and probably be, getting ass raped because he's a big pussy. So if he's in prison, he's going to be getting gang banged quite a bit. So I mean, I'm down for that. I don't know if I'd go as extreme as Duke because if we execute him, then we don't have all the laughs from how hilariously bad this guy is. And I mean, him being out maybe isn't really that bad either because at least it's going to still be hilarious. He's ruined his reputation, so I don't think he's going to be able to screw any people over anymore, and he might wind up with like some really hideous chick yet again, and we can just make fun of him for that. Why not?
He's into that kind of thing, Toad. He's into the hideous chicks, and now he has all that money, and he can just run back off.
Good. He can have them.
He wants.
He can have them all. I got all the hot Ukrainians.
So this might be a little bit of an important question, Toad. What about the sheath underwear?
Sheath. I'm actually not wearing them right now, but it's a laundry day. I have several pairs of sheath. Just go dude, if you want to see them, just go on Twitter. I've posted at least like 5 pictures of me modeling sheath. Mm-hmm. I like the sheath underwear. However, I will say that I'm a man of weird proportions. You can decide what you think that means, but certain underwear that is meant to be like really specific and where everything is needing to be placed doesn't totally fit me correctly.
Gotcha.
So I will say that even though I like their product.
Yes.
So Mila Kunis is Ukrainian. I didn't know that.
She is. That's true.
That's a wood. That's a wood.
Definitely. Well, I
have wood
underwear is that I am the founding member of the Libertarian Party Free Ball Caucus, so that probably leads you to know exactly where I'm going. But as for sheath, I tried them once. Too tight on the nuts. If you can see over here, this is Duluth Armachillo underwear. It's a similar like material to the sheath, but it's got like a cooling ability. So it's a hot day out. I'm just wearing my like American flag shorts. 5 inch.
It's gonna cool down your nutsack.
Yeah, no, those are the only ones that matter. All right, so now what about let's move on to Taiwan, China. What are we gonna do about Taiwan, or what's going on there? Yeah, little China.
Well, yeah, the fact that you called it Taiwan, China is quite accurate. Because it is part of China. The U.S. should not get involved. They should not be posturing. I think this could be a lot worse than the Russia situation. You see the U.S. kind of escalating, at least in the narrative, escalating this and looking like they do want some sort of conflict with China. That should not happen at all whatsoever. It's not our business. Fuck that. Even though Taiwan is the birthplace of General Gao, I think we have enough people that know how to make it over here that I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Taiwan, you need to leave that alone. You need to stop sending them aid or weapons, all the money. They can figure out a way to get the microprocessors or chips or whatever bullshit they're trying to bring up that we need to help them from not getting invaded. I believe in supporting our actual strongest ally, Japan, and helping them go back to the way they were back in the 20s and the 30s and let them take on China all by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well, okay, and this is going to follow a similar suit as the Ukrainian Arab. What about all the Taiwanese women? Because I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of them have the surgery to get their eyes a little bit more wide open.
I thought you were going a different direction. I was like, women?
That's Thailand.
Yeah.
That's
the Koreans do that too. It's a way of showing have money.
Okay.
That's bizarre. I'm unlike a lot of men, I don't have a specific love for Asian women.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give good blowjobs, in case you're wondering.
They're too submissive for me, which is this is probably why I have problems as well. Even though I am a dom, but I like women that push back on me a lot. So.
I think you're just very confused, Toad.
What can I say? Oh, all right.
No.
All right, Brandy has a really, really good question here. Do you believe women's suffrage was a terrible mistake? Oh, this is a great one. I really like this question. Guys, go ahead.
Only because it led to everything else. So yes, it was a mistake.
The slippery slope.
The slippery slope. We know the slippery slope is real, and that was the slipperiest of the slopes.
Yeah, Toad, are you going to dog your VP?
She's just asking a question, and she's asking it based on a political quiz that all three of us took a little while ago. Yeah, because I was like, hey, check out this question. Well, because Brandy and I definitely make jokes about this, and let's just say that I have her as my VP to be a constant reminder of why the 19th was such a major mistake. We know that women tend to vote way more emotionally than men do. They vote for more authoritarianism than men do. This is just a fact. This is biology, baby. Nobody actually has the right to vote. There's no such thing, but taking it away from women would actually be an improvement.
Yeah. Well, personally, I think we should take it away from as many people as possible. I'm all for getting back to just landowners being able to vote. I mean, they don't have to be white. They can be any color, but they just need to own some land. So I'm fine with giving up my vote right now because I sold my house earlier this year. So I'm fine. I don't need to vote. Voting is gay.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
See, and my lady right here, my good, beautiful lady right here agrees with us.
Yeah, I think she's got the right idea. All right, so the big push now as of lately, and I know this because I'm an automotive technician, is electric vehicles by 2030. They're pretty interesting, and I've driven the Cadillac Lyriq, and it's fucking impressive. But regardless, the idea that every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to be able to afford a $64,000 electric Cadillac or a $40,000 electric Tesla, it seems a little bit silly to me. So Duke, you go ahead, go first on your idea on electrics, and then Toad, I'll throw it over to you.
Well, my idea on electrics is we need to cut all subsidies towards these vehicles. You take away all regulations on all vehicles. Let people build what they're going to build. They're going to build the most efficient vehicle possible. There's no reason to push this 2030 thing. It's all part of the fucking Great Reset they're trying to push. The right people have the money tied up in all these batteries. That's the only reason they're pushing it. It's complete and total nonsense. They just want less people to drive. They want, people to have no money. So no, we don't need to be pushing for electric vehicles. Our electric vehicle is good. Teslas are awesome. I've driven a Tesla. One of my best friends has a Tesla. But, I mean, you're not going to be able to fix it. You're going to be out of business, Kyle, if they freaking do that. But that's actually where they're trying to go with all vehicles, I think. Basically, they want it so that no one can work on their own cars. No one can get their own parts. It's going to be very specific. And, no, that's complete horseshit. We need to get away from that.
Yeah. Electric vehicles, first of all, are for pussies, and dude, you need that fucking, you need that fuel, man, that fucking muscle that you got there. I'm driving a fucking Bronco because I'm a man. And you said Cadillac's new fucking electric vehicle is called Lyriq, which is like a female like muse or something. Such a fucking bitch name, man. They used to have awesome names like El Dorado, like the Lost City of Gold. Now fucking Lyriq, yeah, no thanks. I'm not driving a bitch car. What Duke said is all accurate. It's part of Agenda 2030. This is all wrapped into like the climate agenda, which we see them pushing this climate agenda now. This is all part of that shit. It is part of them wanting to remove vehicles from people as much as they can. They don't want people to be able to move around. They want people to be stuck, especially in cities. And you see now they're like getting rid of roads in cities, like in Boston here. They really do not want people driving at all. They want you trapped in their cities and basically a slave. And I will say that Thomas Massey has made some good points about this.
Yes.
The facts that like this is not even feasible at all with the technology that we have right now, or that we'll have by 2030 as well. Like, I think even if you were to let the free market like do what it's going to do, which is the right answer here, which is also that's not going to be happening. You are going to require so much electricity, so much power to power these vehicles. I think what Massey had said was that it's like the equivalent of having to run, I think, like 30 refrigerators to power 2 vehicles in a household or something. It's absolutely insane. Nobody has that amount of power, and we're already seeing like power shortages because the government is in control of that, especially in California and all this shit. This is going to make that even worse. People are going to be without power to even more of a degree if this happens, and it is like people are actually going to die as a result of this policy. Like it's fucking serious.
There was, oh God, I'm drawing a blank on it, but there was an article that was posted like the last couple of days, and I can't remember where it was, but they have rolling blackouts, and basically the article was saying how the rolling blackouts were good for the environment and how it's like
flood lines are good too.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, so like.
Listen, I'm gonna have rolling blackouts, but it's kicking black people out of my neighborhoods to lower the amount of crime.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! They're gonna fucking pull this one. I'll do a shameless plug here. I did do a podcast on hybrids. I think it was episode 67 on green energy and efficiency, where I covered a lot of these topics in depth because it's been something that I've obviously researched quite a decent bit, being a automotive tech. And I mean, I've gone to Detroit to be trained on hybrid vehicles, and they're cool. But I just think there's we're nowhere near the feasibility point of being able to drive electrics or autonomous vehicles every single day. Like some of the new Cadillacs have what's called Super Cruise. They will have a camera that looks at you right at the steer, or like right on top of the steering wheel, which is kind of weird. And it says it records you constantly. So think about that when you're thinking about autonomous vehicles. And what it actually does is like it watches your face to see if your head's not facing that camera to determine whether or not you're distracted when you're driving or not. And as it stands right now, even on like a main highway in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, they still don't have some of that highway mapped out, just to kind of let everybody know, like, we are nowhere near being ready for autonomous vehicles. And even, I want to say it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago, they had an autonomous Cadillac at the last shop that I worked at. It was an Escalade, and every single motherfucking panel on that vehicle was dented, scratched, dinged, you name it. That thing was beat to piss and back. But yeah, we're supposed to believe that the fucking automation is going to come take our jobs. Maybe in like 100 years. And then even then, you're still not going to take a driver out of a vehicle, because who's going to be accountable? Who are you going to sue when shit goes wrong? And then not every single camera that you put on a vehicle is always going to be 100% functioning. There's always going to be a modicum of error. And where that error is going to be entirely dependent on whether or not you have a driver in the vehicle, because if there's a driver in there, you can hold them accountable. If there isn't, then, once again, what do you do? Pile on the insurance company, the company that owns the vehicle. There's just way too many variables, and it's not going to fucking work. So that's my rant on that.
Yeah, and one of the other like terrifying things about the automation is that you're gonna have vehicles that are connected to the internet, which like mine already is actually, because it's one of the new Broncos. So I can like remote start it from anywhere.
Yep.
That I have an internet connection, which is kind of terrifying, because the government can just start like disabling your vehicle. They can do whatever they want with it. Basically, they can hack. Yeah. People can hack into it. That's. Mostly it's the government aspect of it that's terrifying.
Yeah, well, for like most vehicles that have this kind of remote start, typically they have what's called, I think it's a serial data gateway module, at least is what General Motors calls it. And basically this is a module strictly for security of the vehicle, to make sure that like outside people don't get in. Am I saying it's impossible? No. Is it likely? It's like that much. But once again, when we start talking about ESG and kind of getting down to that kind of stuff, all right, well, now I would say that there's probably a high likelihood that the government's going to find a way to get in there and say, hey, if you don't meet our certain climate goals, then we're going to shut off your vehicle. I mean, we have state inspections and emission inspections in a lot of different states. Here in Pennsylvania, you have to, if you drive under 5,000 miles, you get your vehicle emissions exempted. But like if you live in certain counties here, you have to take an emissions test every single year. So there's going to be, a little bit of nuance here. I like Brandy's comment. Are we talking about motor boating? I'm very, very much so in favor.
Yeah, I am now. I'm talking about it now.
No, but that's also, this kind of brings up another point, like the whole public-private and what private companies can do, because a lot of these insurance companies now have you try to download these apps where it tells you exactly where you are at every moment, where you're stopping at these stoplights or doing all these things, and I opt out every single time. Do you really want, like, do I want USAA tracking every single thing that I do while I'm driving down the road? Absolutely fucking not. Because then they can ding you for any little infraction. And that's also, when are they going to pass that on to the government? Because
So Ben had a good question here. You're trapped in a room with Mike Termont. Which one of you would be the first to be arrested, and what would be the charge? Toad, you go ahead, go first, and then we'll throw it over to Duke.
Is there somebody else like involved here? Or is somebody calling the cops? I would perform a citizen's arrest on Mike Termont for just being fucking gay, basically.
Well, as one of the people that has actually been trapped in a room with Mike Termont down here in Florida, what would he arrest me for? Possession?
Well, he is a cop. So.
He was cop for a long time. I know Dave Casey's big thing was like, have you ever had a private sector job? And he has not. So, I don't know. He would probably arrest us for being too rowdy and not being a boring piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, because his boredom would be boring me to death, which is actually an act of aggression. He is trying to kill me with his boredom. Then that's how I can justify a citizen's arrest of him. So that's what I would do.
Well, and to be honest, this whole Mike Termont thing, this goes way back down here in Florida, because he was running for Congress for a while. And after he was running for the seat and he failed miserably, he decided, I'm going to run for president. And he announced on the podcast that I did with Josh Halafka, the chairman of the LPF down here.
Oh, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hello, guys? What?
Yeah. And I said, why the fuck are you running for president? And no one knows who you are. I mean, yeah, you worked in the Bush administration, so that's definitely something working for you in the Libertarian Party. But you were a sheriff at some, and you're a police officer. In the state of Florida, you have to have police experience to. And it's like, well, we know that sheriff is like the first line of defense. They're a constitutionally designated office. They can nullify different things, and you would think that running him as a sheriff would be a whole lot better and actually potentially win and have the Libertarian in power. But no, he's running for fucking president. Some Danny project, go and say at the next convention that, hey, you can pay me to speak here because I ran for president and was a presidential nominee one time. That's the reason that any of these guys are fucking running for president, is so that they can go and have their back slapped and say, oh, you tried, you did a good job, boy. You got 100,000 votes. So come on down here and we'll pay you $10,000 to speak to a room full of autists.
It's so fucking gay, man. Like, if you were under any like sort of delusion that you can actually like win the presidency, you're out of your mind and you're not votable in my mind. Like, you have to be realistic. People like people that are being real with them anyway.
Right.
Be real about this. We're not going to win the presidency. No. So this is the reason for doing this is spreading the message, essentially.
Well, and that's what the whole thing was with this whole LPMC takeover. And look, I'll be honest. I've met Mike a bunch of times. He's a nice guy one-on-one, but that doesn't cut it anymore. That doesn't cut it anymore. That's what everyone says. Oh, he's a nice guy. He's trying so hard. He's so nice. Well, fuck all that. You're running for president. We don't need nice guys to run for president. This is the participation trophy party right now.
Dude, right. Trump won, man. Like, I want an asshole.
Well, see, and this is the thing. This is why you're seeing DeSantis get his ass beat by Trump, because DeSantis objectively has done way more good for his people than Trump ever did.
For Florida, absolutely, yeah.
And then not only that, he's also been able to competently hire and fire people. Trump, he's good at nothing. He's good at like shit posting and getting people to laugh and marketing. Exactly.
Well, yeah, that is what he's good at. Yeah.
He's 100% brand. DeSantis isn't. He doesn't have that same brand. So of course people are like dunking on DeSantis. I'm like, it's just so funny to see, because you like, if you objectively look at it, you would think, oh, DeSantis is the choice. Clearly, I mean, unless you're thinking about foreign policy, but like if you're looking at domestic policy, DeSantis is like the clear choice for domestic policy because he can execute. He's not a dummy. Trump's a fucking retard, but Trump has branded himself as the guy, as the vengeance to voters. Although, like Dave tweeted out something today, and I tweeted back to him. I said, I think there's a chance that Trump's going to win, but it's going to be another 4 years of basically him bitching that the deep state that he appointed fucked his wife. That's what it's going to be.
I think I'd like to fuck his wife. If we're talking about Melania.
Not Mike Tyson.
No, I'm kidding. we discussed it on Tower Gang last night, actually, and she was not the fuck in the fuck, marry, kill. Let's put it that way. But Trump doesn't even have to do much to just own DeSantis. Like he's Ron DeSanctimonious. He just calls him that, and it's like over already. Look at how short he is. I'm way taller than the Ron DeSanctimonious over here.
Look at Ron Meatball there.
Well, Trump is the perfect example of why democracy is stupid and how most people are.
That's why I love him.
Yeah, no, because look how loyal these boomers are. Love it. That know that they can just grift off them all they want, but no matter what, doesn't matter. Oh, he appointed Ray. It wasn't his fault. They undercut him. Yeah. Oh, he didn't know any better. It doesn't matter. Like the thing that I was telling you today, Kyle, where he was campaigning for Blake Masters, 99% of the money that was donated to him. They don't care. They're like, oh, well, he still got 1%. And Trump is bringing in all his money. They do not care, and they will always vote for him. That's why I really can't stand like people like Jack Posobiec and stuff. It's like they know better. These guys, they're little neocons, but they suck that so hard because they would be nothing without him.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy because, Trump, he started the state of emergency that was the reason why the lockdowns happened, essentially. Didn't fire Fauci, hired, a bunch of bad foreign policy people around him, John Bolton, a bunch of guys like that. Pompeo, all that shit. And he did not do anything for his own people who were unjustly arrested for J6. So, part of my other campaign platforms are to free all of the J6ers. That's a big one because they have been arrested for no good reason whatsoever. They walked into a fucking building and they're trying to do the right thing. They're fed up with the fucking lockdowns with the COVID regime. That's what these people are all about. They should all be freed. These are great Americans, I would say, essentially. And the other part of what I'm going for here is to lock up all of the lockdowners. And I might include Trump in that. Fauci, fuck him. Governors to Gitmo, as Jeremy Kauffman likes to say. I'm taking his lead on that one. All the lockdown governors. I don't know if I'd spare DeSantis. He locked down for like a month. Maybe I'll spare him because he was better than everybody else.
Put him on probation.
Yeah.
Christy Noem is spared because she didn't lock down and she's fucking hot. So hit me up, Christy. Also, have your daughter hit me up. Let's see if we can get a mother-daughter thing going on.
That's one thing I love about you, Toad. You're a very ambitious man.
Yeah, you miss 100% of shots you don't take, to be completely fair.
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Jay Forte said tits out for Toad, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
I love tits. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm a tits guy, too.
This is probably one of my least libertarian things is like, you guys want to lock people up. I am very much in favor of bringing back the public gallows, and letting people who actually were harmed by these policies determine how slowly they bring the rope up. If they let them down a little bit, bring them back up. I think it's justice. I think that is justice.
Yeah, the one story I always think about is there was a churrascaria actually not too far away from here, and they were just the nicest people in the world that ran it, and their business had to shut down in like April or May of 2020. I see fucking Duke smiling over there, but yeah, basically like to see former Governor Wolf, on a stool and the noose kind of tightening around his neck. I think I could watch that. I think I could watch and sincerely be entertained. And people can call you a sadist, but if you can't be entertained at the people who ruined your lives for a year and a half, 2 years, then I think there's probably something wrong with you. We have every right to be angry about. What
they are blood-soaked. I mean, we say it all the time. They are blood-soaked monsters. Lives are on their hands in many different ways. And
yes, actually, because that's what happens basically to me when I motorboat some big titties. It feels like I'm getting smacked between two cabbages. Let's go.
Yeah, well, you know what? Jay Forte had a good point here. Admiral Levine. Yeah, Levine was here in Pennsylvania, and she was very, very proud. Well, he was.
Oh, Rachel Levine. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
What was his name beforehand? Was it Rob or some shit?
I don't even know.
I think it was Richard. I honestly think it was Dick Levine.
Yeah,
Dick Levine now.
The most hilarious thing is that his name is the thing that he can never get rid of.
Yeah, I don't know if you can say it's formerly Dick Levine. I think you could still probably say Dick Levine and be all right.
Dick removed Levine.
No, that dude is not that committed.
Oh no, he is not. He's from Massachusetts originally too. So
okay.
We're where all the commies come from.
Yeah, we're creating some great people up here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately,
it's just me and my VP, man. We're the only two. We're
Gotcha.
the dissidents.
So don't let that woman get her hooks in you, man. She is very dangerous. After going for their birth dates and their times and shit, she's trying to put fucking spells on them.
Well, Duke,
Kyle.
Duke, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you about that because, I agree with you on like virtually like every policy. Probably, I think we're very much in line there. But the one thing I was going to ask is, what is your birthday? Because I'm not sure that you're old enough to run for president, sir.
Me?
Yeah.
I am 35.
You're just making the cut. All right.
Yeah, in May I turned 35.
Okay.
But you're not going to get a day. You're not going to get a time, Brandy. Get over it.
Okay. All right.
What are we going to do about the border crisis, Duke? You got to go first.
All right. Well, this is another place where I am not libertarian. I am not open borders at all. At all. I think if we're going to have our money stolen from us, from the government, and there's going to be a nation state, we should at least, kind of like the Dave Smith thing, like no homeless people in the park. People shouldn't just be allowed to come on in and do whatever the fuck they want. Can't break the laws, even though the laws are gay. That's kind of where I am. I'm all for building the wall. I'm all for building the moat. I'm all for filling it with alligators. Put them sentry guns on top. You got to do what you got to do. You got to deter people from coming in.
We're going to do like an IDF style wall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The snipers. All the kids throwing the rocks, they got to go.
Yeah, snipers to the balls. Toad, your position on the border.
Yeah, I mean the Rio Grande is kind of a moat for it already. Like the U.S. is kind of surrounded on three sides or almost three sides, I guess, by moat. I maybe I'll take like a slightly different approach from Duke here, but I'm also nowhere close to an open borders guy. I fight with the open border faggots all the time. I think
I like how you emphasize that one.
Faggots. If we are to have a government who is in control of the border, which open borders is still the government being in control of who's coming in and who isn't, and it's everybody being let in by them.
It's the government's policy actively.
Right. I would want something that more closely resembles what like private borders would look like, and that would involve letting far fewer people in. So I think that would be the goal. I don't know how they would like be doing these checks or whatever, but I think it is appropriate to not let people in and send a lot of people back home. I'm not for like caging people and shit like that.
No. And I mean, on a serious note, if in a perfect world, I would go back to more of a, say, like we said, an Ellis Island style.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, certain quotas and everything. But I would say that you have to come in through a port of call. If you do not come in through a port of call and you cross the border wherever, you are banned completely from ever entering this country again.
Yeah, listen.
Okay, so who's gonna clean the houses then?
Listen, you're
the woman. Clean the
you're the woman. You're the woman. That's your job. I do it right now as a single man. I'm not offering to clean Brandy's, but I do have to clean my own. So maybe I'll turn her into my maid. That's what I'll do.
And honestly,
the
I
VP will
clean
be the
my
maid
house too, and the toilets. I am not allowed to let CD clean the toilets. That's like one of our arrangements. So
yeah,
I'll gladly do it.
Yeah, which is something I have to do after I fucking annihilated mine after that halal
Too much shawarma, man. Inshallah, man.
Now, what you were referring to with the Ellis Island style, and it would be an improvement, is that we're only going to let people in who are coming from Europe, specifically the Ukrainian women. It's got to be European women who have nice titties. We'll bring them in.
Do the OnlyFans models kind of get like a expedited shipping?
Ooh.
I mean, Amazon could probably get them here in like 2 days, right?
Amazon. I get mine through Wayfair, and nobody even knows about it.
Oh, you get those knockoff Ukrainians. They're really Romanians, is what he's saying.
Yeah, it might have a lopsided tit. or 2.
Damn. Oh, is that why their tits are a little bit mangled up?
Missing some fingers and teeth. Yeah, that's why.
That's why their names end in U.
Yeah, Tyler came in to show his support for Toad. What a shame.
Some dude some dude shouting me. Yeah, that's what I'm into, man. I hire gay men to come over all the time and and give me Cleveland Steamers.
Learning a lot about you tonight, Toad.
Yeah. All right. So,
I'm showing my chest. So this is the target, man. Right here.
What are we gonna do about the groomers?
Which ones?
Are we talking about like dog groomers? Because they're pretty.
No, not the dog groomers. The groomers in the schools.
Oh.
Who do you want to take this one first, there, Kyle?
You guys tell me.
Go ahead, Toad.
All right, I was going to say the groomers. Well, there is a lot of overlap between the groomers and the Jays because there are a bunch. there are a bunch of them in Hollywood, and it is a known fact that this is not. I mean, this is a known fact that Israel is one of the countries that percentage-wise harbors the most pedophiles.
Yeah,
you can look it up. They do.
It's true.
They do. I'm not saying anything, but we can question this. It's more of the JQ or the GQ in this case.
Didn't Ryan Dawson just release something about like a big old Israeli like child trafficking ring that they're down in Colombia? Basically, they're like offering girls to come.
Oh, is that what that Sound of Freedom movie is about? I don't know, but
I don't know, but yeah, he was saying something. I barely read it. I skimmed through it, but he was saying something like major trafficking ring in Colombia. It was run by just like gangs in Israel.
Yeah,
so,
but the more, well, I don't even think it's a serious answer, but like ideally, what would we do about the groomers? Like, it is absolutely true that public school teachers are groomers, and even before like the insanity of today, they were still like grooming and indoctrinating children into loving the state, and now part of that state worship also happens to be like transgenderism and all this like really crazy like sex education and shit. At least we have to like start rolling that shit back. We have to like do kind of the DeSantis approach in Florida. We should be not teaching that shit in school, not teaching CRT, not teaching any of the sex ed or anything like that. This is definitely stuff that should be left to people that are close to the children, the parents, even though I don't have faith in a lot of parents at this point either. But public schools, no. And then of course the ideal answer is completely abolish public schools. We can at least and I think some of this started happening during the lockdowns when people started seeing like how bad public schools really are, and public schools were shut down, and just everything was such shit that we're seeing like a growth in homeschooling. I like that aspect of it, like more homeschooling, more private schooling, all of that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even though homeschooling is the way, it's like this shit is everywhere. Like you can't get away from it. If you just go down to the library or go hang out at your friend's house, it's as easy as that to get all this shit. Like the This Is Queer book and that new one where they're trying to teach them about consent. Like that whole book is just about teaching kids about consent so that they can't argue that they aren't able to consent. That's the only reason why they're trying to do that. It is completely sick. And drawing cartoons and teaching kids how to scissor and how to have anal sex. It's like there's no reason why these books need to be anywhere near schools. Absolutely need to remove that stuff from public schools, abolish public schools if at all possible. But private schools are just as bad. We have a Catholic school around here, and I have friends of mine, their kids attend there, and they're always coming home talking about tranny shit too. So,
well, I like Catholic schools because it just proves the point that gay men are pedophiles.
I went to Catholic school for 11 years, and the priests were always really good. They gave me wine,
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened.
They're very friendly.
I don't remember what happened after the wine. They told me it was the blood of Christ.
What are we gonna do about gas prices? Everyone's always pissed off about gas prices. Toad, you seem pretty amped up about this one, so I'll let you go first.
Oh well, because you said gas, I thought you were going in a completely different direction.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I keep cock teasing you, dude. I'm sorry.
No.
I was like, man, I'm just talking about the J's in every answer here. What are we gonna do? What to do about gas prices?
Okay, well, you know, real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if I had to choose between Upchurch and Hitler, I'm just saying the oven would still be warm.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
I really do not like Upchurch. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think there are a couple of different. I mean, there are a bunch of different factors in the gas price. I think probably the one that is the biggest is just that it's rampant inflation, and this is being caused by the Fed constantly creating more money out of nothing. So, I mean, the libertarian answer is to end the Fed and completely get rid of it, but we need to somehow at least like speak to that and get more people, aware of what's going on here and more aware of why this is actually happening. Why are, because the gas prices are not high just because it's greedy corporations, because they would have already made it high. And then there are other things that you can do where there are like government policies that I'm sure are like restricting the supply of gas, which is going to drive the prices up because you have like OPEC and shit like that. And you have like, gas probably not being made available from all of the places that actually produce it. So, just in any way that you can, cutting government regulation and getting a freer market in that area.
Duke.
I mean, Tovitz has said everything that needs to be said. Gas prices and why gas prices are high is not something that I am well versed in. I just assume it's because there's not enough drilling. There's not enough ability for people to build new refineries. Yes, inflation is a major part of it. Ending the Fed is good, of course. We got to tie our currency to something like BRICS countries are trying to do to try and tamp that down. But, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen because once we lose that petrodollar, I'm talking about Saudi Arabia and everything, it's all that money's going to start coming back here and that inflation's going to go more. So I don't know. Gas prices are probably more of just an indicator of how fucked things are than something that can be fixed easily with any kind of solution.
Gotcha. Yeah, my thought on this always is, and I've actually written when I was in college, I wrote a paper on this, but fracking in particular, when you think about it, I think it's the Marcellus shale bed, which is actually underneath like Toad and I right now. I believe it goes through like a lot of the northern eastern states here in the U.S. And there's plenty of technology out there and plenty of evidence now that fracking is safe and it does create a lot of jobs, well-paying jobs at that too. And there's a lot of gas underneath that bed, and I really don't see a reason why we can't go for it. Like the fluid, supposedly, a lot of people worried about, like, let's say a contamination of the fluid whenever the fracking's being done, and people worried that fluid would get out because you're hydraulically fracturing that shale bed. People worried that the fluid would get out and get into the drinking water, but they've made the fluid now to the point that it actually goes to the top of the water rather than staying at the bottom. And then they also have like different technologies to kind of detect where leaks are through like UV lights and stuff like that, if I'm remembering this correctly. So like, why don't we do that? Like, and like a lot of people knocked Biden, reasonably so, for raising gas prices, but I think there are a combination of things, and obviously like Keystone Pipeline is probably a small thing, and then inflation, all this other stuff. But like he was giving a lot of leases, but then I'm sure that there were other things on the other end that caused those leases not to go to actual gas into into people's cars and shit like that. Now, like you said, I'm not a fucking expert on this shit.
No, but now with fracking as well, isn't one of the big things that they talk about is since they are breaking that shale by pumping stuff down there, isn't like earthquakes or sinkholes and things of that nature another major concern from that? I don't know. That's just something that was ahead. But as long as they're not strip mining mountains, I'm fine with doing it. That's like,
I mean,
I'm a conservationist.
I mean, in that case, I would like leave it to the people who actually know about that shit, and I would remove like the environmental regulations that are probably getting in the way of that. Let the people who know how to do it figure that out.
Yeah.
So this is a good
state by state thing.
Yes, this is a good question.
Here in Florida, there wouldn't be like people don't want drilling offshore. They don't want drilling around here in Florida because our beaches and our environment and our waterways are very much a part of our economy and a part of our way of life down here. Now, up in Pennsylvania, it's a shithole anyway. So it's like no one cares if you're blowing up things down there.
Toad, have you ever had your fluid bed fracked?
What do you mean by that? Has somebody stabbed my water bed?
You have a water
well, listen, if Tyler is talking about having my my asshole breached, that has not happened, at least to my knowledge. I don't know what might have happened at those gay bars when I was getting all those free drinks, but as far as I know, I have the tight butthole that saved Reno, the Reno reset. So I don't think it's ever happened, and as I've brought up on Tower Gang, I also make sure that I keep it that way because I manscape and my asshole gets pretty hairy, and it starts looking like like a chick's like shower drain where you got like the porcelain and then that drain is just like fucking clogged with hair. That's what my asshole looks like. So I have to, yeah, sure. I have to manscape that shit. You want to avoid the dingleberries, whatever. I fucking shave that shit. I shave it like almost all the way down, and then it like starts growing back, and my asshole turns into an Iron Maiden. So no dude is gonna want to put his dick in that. So
yeah, fair enough, man. I can imagine that's a lot of fucking friction.
That's my homo deterrent.
A lot of work, Toad.
It is, and I use the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 right now, which has a laser sight on it, so you can get your leg up there, get the mirror going on, shine that laser right there into your butthole. There you go.
Does it warm you at all?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have any warming technology. I am about to acquire a bidet though, for free, so that's gonna be awesome.
I don't know, man. I don't know if Palumbo would. He seems like he likes skinny dudes, like real skinny dudes.
Palumbo is also absolutely a bottom. He's the one taking it in the butthole, so yeah.
He probably takes it from Hannah Cox.
Yeah, from Hannah's cock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's based. It's very based politics.
So what are we gonna do about the fats? I know there was a thing on Tower Gang about the G word, the fats, and what was it? Escalator walkers.
Escalator standers. That one came from Reed, because Reed was actually referring to the moving walkways in airports, especially like the Denver airport is really egregious in this way, where they have moving walkways that just make up like the entire like walkway, and you're trying to like make this plane, make this flight. You're in a rush, and people just kind of stand there right in the middle, and you have no way of getting around them. So that's why we put them on there. But yeah, that was our G word. I don't know how we want to describe this. G is in getting rid of certain groups of people. We held a tournament for that last year or so, I want to say, a year and a half ago or so, and the Fats made it to the finale against white women, and we held that finale as part of the crossover with Robbie the Fire's Summer Porch Tour kickoff that year at Top Lobster's house, and I don't even know if the video of that is even going to be released, so people might not even know who actually wound up winning. I use that term loosely. It was actually not the Fats, it was the white women. I don't remember, Duke, were you at that? Because it was in Florida.
No, I was supposed to go, and I had something come up.
We had a decent crew there, and we actually were able to have a representative from each of those groups of people come up and plead their case. And the Fat was John from what the fuck is his podcast name? He's a Florida guy. He's a Fat. I wish I could remember his something with
John the Fat.
Something with Porch Boys, I want to say, is his podcast. Yeah, he's a funny dude, man. He should have a bigger following.
There's a certain phrase that I want to say, but I can't say it on YouTube. It has to do with porch.
He was hilarious, and we absolutely agreed with him anyway. And we had Ashton was there with Clint. She was pleading the white women's case, and she was actually making more of a case to get rid of the white women. So she did not help their cause at all, and we went with the white women. What was the question, though?
Something about the Fats. First of all, Ashton is a perfect judgment.
You're cutting out.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm out on the back porch right now.
You got to get that pro podcast set up, man.
No, I'm
another reason why I am more presidential than this ghetto motherfucker over here.
Yep, no, I'm a real man of the people, though. See,
see, he turned that one around good.
But no, as for the Fats, I say that instead of giving these kids the wrong types of hormones, like giving boys estrogen and girls testosterone, I suggest we give everyone anabolic steroids when they turn 17 years old, to get them all thick and juicy and get that muscle memory so that they are not able to get fat. And if they are getting older and start slowing down, they'll have a heart attack, they'll die skinny. So it's a win-win for everyone.
I endorse that. I endorse that platform right there. That's perfect. It's beautiful.
I mean, a lot of my answer to this would actually be like, it's going to have to be like propaganda that winds up being like the inverse of what the government propaganda is right now, because the government is telling you all of the wrong things to do. They're literally telling you like that if you work out, you're a white supremacist, shit like that. We need to say no. Like, this is all obvious shit though. You need to have a decent diet and you got to exercise. That's the main thing. Like, fucking do that. And the diet is a huge problem though, because like basically all of the like more affordable, quick options for food that you can get is all processed fucking bullshit, and so much of that food is so bad. And you can take it from me, personal experience here. I lost 45 pounds in 8 months in 2017, even though I have gained a little bit of it back. But I dropped from like 190, so I was almost 200. I dropped down under 150 in 8 months, and I went keto, and it was really just like a lot of it was cutting out processed sugar and processed carbs. So a way to get that word out. Like, you don't want to eat that much of that shit. If you move your diet more towards eating a high percentage of protein and fat, you will actually start burning more fat. So that's what I would say. I think Kyle might disagree with me on that, because I've seen him posting food that he eats. But...
Kyle loves the seed oils and he loves the fake sugars. That's what he loves more than anything.
Get rid of seed oils.
No, I don't have any problem with higher protein or fat or anything like that. I actually think if a lot of people did kind of follow that diet advice, generally they would be healthier if they kind of avoid like a lot of the added bullshit. Diet and exercise is what I think about when I hear Toad for president. And he also said,
you got to give Toad a lot of props. Like he said, he had a lot of problems. You had a stroke, didn't you?
Yeah, when I was 26, I had a stroke.
Oh, Jesus, really?
I was morbidly obese for like the few years like after college. And in college, I was like going to the gym because you could use it for free, and I was in some of the like best shape that I was in my life. Actually, in college, I was playing intramural basketball and coaching it, and yeah, like going to the gym most days with like some of my roommates and stuff. And it helps. I guess that's another aspect of it. It helps if you have like gym buddies to go with, and you pump each other up. Doing it by yourself kind of sucks. But after college, it just kind of all went away, and my diet was horrific. I do software for a living. I was sedentary and just not good. And it got to a point because I was just like, I'm in my mid-20s. Like, this isn't that much of a problem. I know I'm fat. Didn't really realize how fat I was getting. I wound up getting diagnosed with like severely high blood pressure and sent to the ER straight from a routine physical because my BP was 190 over 120. They put me on blood pressure meds, and leading up to that, I also had started getting these like really serious headaches. And it wasn't because I was like drinking a lot of alcohol back then or anything like that. It was due to the blood pressure, and the blood pressure meds like got rid of the headache issue immediately. But I think it was also kind of maybe disguising the problem a little bit. Like, if you get healthy, you're going to like fix your blood pressure anyway. So if there's a way I could get off those meds, that would be good. But I did that. And then a few months after that, and I think it was because of the years of high blood pressure, I did have a stroke, which I didn't even realize it was a stroke because I didn't have the typical symptoms of it. And it was just like my vision was thrown off, and it happened at work. It caused a seizure a few hours later, which is what actually landed me in the hospital. And because I had a stroke and I was 26, and I'm up there with like a bunch of 70-year-old men, which, by the way, that's a nice advantage because all the nurses really like you when you're the only 20-something man, when they're dealing with all these 70-year-old perverts up there. It's better to have a 26-year-old pervert.
Yeah. Right?
I was there for 5 days. They did not figure out what actually caused it. I think it had to have been the blood pressure just damaging the blood vessels, because they didn't determine that there was any other like reason for it. And they did everything, man, just crazy tests on me and whatever. And yeah, like a few years, I should have done it more quickly, but a few years after that, I did decide to do something about it and lose the weight.
Toad is more fucked than Biden health-wise. He can't be president. We'll be lucky if he lives until the election.
I mean, I'm pretty much fully recovered. I actually did like this controversial vision therapy to retrain the like convergence aspect of my vision, and it actually worked. You actually like, there's something about the brain where like certain parts of the brain can take over the lost function of other parts of the brain. And I went to this doctor who was like getting shit on by almost everybody. So when that's the case, you must know that she's probably doing something right. So she had me doing all this stuff that was like almost magic eye shit to like retrain my like depth perception almost, and I like repaired my vision quite a bit that way.
Awesome. No, credit to you on that one, man.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
No problem. Like when I was in the Army, I got hurt, and that's how I got out. But before I did, I was up to 250 pounds. I was a fat piece of shit because I was eating Burger King and Popeye every single day because that was all that was there. I couldn't go anywhere. But yeah, I lost about 40 pounds since I've been.
Nice. And I'm 5'6", by the way, so it was.
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
Yeah.
So, yeah,
so 200 pounds, yeah, not good unless you're my co-host Jose Galison and you somehow have the proper frame to actually be like a 5'5", 200-pound man and not be fat. Credit to that guy. He's a fucking wide
Judd,
man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right. I think we've cleared most of the topics I wanted to get to. Let's do closing statements, and then I'm going the fuck to bed because my wife and I are going to go see Pantera and Lamb of God tomorrow. I can't fucking wait.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Oh yeah. And then next weekend we're going to go see them again. This was I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but originally we were going to go out to Jersey to go see Metallica and Pantera, and it was like a whole weekend event. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I paid for the hotel, got the tickets and everything, and then literally like the day or two after, they announced that they're coming to Pittsburgh. I was like, oh, I'll cancel everything. And then my wife texts me back and says, well, why don't we just go to both? I was like,
yeah,
okay.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
a good one there, right?
Yes, for sure. All right, closing statements. Toad, you go first. Why should you be the president of the United States, or at least the nominee for the Libertarian Party?
Well, I mean, you've heard most of the aspects of my platform that I've laid out. You know who I am. It's pretty much what I said in the opening. I don't think that there are many people. When I entered the field, there was nobody else that even remotely would be able to carry the torch of the Ron Paul revolution and the Reno reset. I am one of those guys. I was involved in the reset. I am a Dave Smithian, Ron Paulian libertarian, and I shitpost the fuck out of the losers. And that is why. That's what I represent. You want the Reno reset? Go with me.
Duke.
Oh, the reason why you should pick me as your Libertarian Party candidate is because I am fine with being the butt of the joke and making it as big a joke as possible. I'll be bigger than that fucking boot on it. And people call us unserious when these are the people that they're putting forward. We have people in this party that actually think they can win the presidency.
Yeah.
To be all honest, I would vote for Toad.
Keeps cutting
Just
out,
a minute
man.
for the shits and giggles. And now that Josh Smith is in it, at least he has the right idea saying that no one's trying to get on the ballot. We shouldn't try to fight for ballot access. Do the 50-state media tour. Have someone that can actually be out there and talk that shit, that libertarian shit, the Ron Paul shit. And none of the people that are there now can do that. The Reno was a fucking joke. If these are the people that we put forward as the presidential candidate, and that's the only reason I threw my game. Make losers cry and but
Exactly.
had a lot of fun tonight, and if we continue this, I will have fun talking shit on the campaign trail.
Yeah, me too, man. I love Duke as well. I love you, brother. You're hilarious, dude. I would not be upset if Duke won the nomination.
Or would I be upset? So did far better than any of those other faggots that are on the stage. And
That's right, except for Josh.
yes. Well, that guy's a big, and Josh would be a beautiful thing because all the people that he pissed off when he quit VC are going to cry even more if he becomes the presidential nominee. And people who get that upset about politics, especially the party, deserve to cry as much as possible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't think of a better way to end that. One more thing before we close out of here is the whole LPMC thing. I've been a little bit quiet. I was very, very involved with the Libertarian Party probably 2 years ago before I started the podcast. But then I decided that ultimately my efforts were better spent elsewhere than working for the Westmoreland Libertarian Party. And not that I have any animosity towards anybody there.
Yeah.
But it literally seems like we did this whole takeover for to basically, like, a lot of the donations were sent to somebody, and that somebody took a paycheck and then paid all these speakers to go do this promotional tour for the takeover. And now that it's all said and done, now nobody cares about it. Like, all those same people who were at all these events, They no longer talk about it. One person isn't even on the board anymore. And now we're left with basically a Libertarian Party that looks a lot like the old one 3 years ago, except for it's just got slightly edgier messaging, which isn't for nothing, don't get me wrong, but that literally seems like what the takeover was.
Yeah, the messaging is definitely better, and the messaging is a big part of it. So I will give credit to that.
Yeah. Well, that tour was, you knew that tour was a failure because whenever they showed pictures, not show crowd shots because no one was fucking there. You know, and it was just a waste of money. That $100,000 that was raised, or however much money was, wonder if it could have gone to local candidates. I wonder if Eric Parker up in Jacksonville could have used some of that money to maybe win his city council race. You know, it had to go to giving Maj Toure his cut to call us all racist and talk about how we shouldn't use the word picnic. All right, he's just the freaking Robin DiAngelo of the goddamn Libertarian Party. So, you know, whatever the fuck. People just want to have a black best friend, and I'll leave it on that.
I don't even think I heard the picnic thing.
Oh, that's what. All right. So he came and to convention this few months. He asked a friend of mine that's in there. I asked her how much did he charge. He said not as much as he thought he was worth. And you can look around the room. They'll usually call you racist because there's people here, and you guys got to me and said like basically you're racist for using picnic, and then he up and left after telling people he was going to do interviews. He just said yeah I'll do that, and then he left. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he did do a similar thing where he I think he bailed on Porkfest on. He had like a speech like a speaking gig at Porkfest. I think at least. It must have been twice and bailed on it last minute. And then he had another one this year and he got arrested and couldn't show up to this one either, even though the arrest was bullshit. It was like gun possession, some shit like that. But that was real urban behavior there.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't want to take us down that route. Well, no, I actually did. I can't lie. Yeah. All right, guys, go ahead. Give your plugs and anything you want to mention.
You have more than me.
All right. Tower Gang Toad on Twitter. I'm one of the hosts of the Tower Gang podcast, which is the most offensive comedy podcast, the most offensive podcast out there. We are on Wednesday nights. We had another banger last night. We were in the process of going through some old public access television episodes of The Andrew Show, who is a young, very talented man who is a KKK member, I suppose. It's some awesome stuff. It's really fun. I do it with Clint from Liberty Lockdown, Cole, aka Fat Dave Smith, Jose Galasan, Top Lobster, and Reed Coverdale, almost never at this point. And we are at Tower Gang Pod. Go follow us everywhere where you can find video content still. Mostly we direct people to the Rumble at this point and the locals, towergang.locals.com. You can support us there.
Nice. Duke.
Yeah. On Twitter. I'm just out here living life right now. Got a lot of shit going on. Definitely go and follow the Tower Gang. A lot of good guys over. Some good friends. Cole can see if this child at my house.
Well.
Your whole stuff just cut off right at the end there.
I question it, Duke, because Cole's child is really a ginger, and that has to be called into question because Cole and his wife are not, and this happened at your house, and we know who is one.
I can either. I think I need a dog now. So
I mean, he's really showing why he should be president right there, dude. That's a perfect presidential pitch. I couldn't think of a better one.
And well, I was off in the corner watching the conception happen. So
you had one of those chairs, just
on his junk too. So.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Hopefully, you enjoyed, and hopefully, maybe we'll see both these guys running, and then we'll have a president and a vice president. Or, the whole Libertarian Party will be abolished. But thanks so much, guys. Until next time, everyone.
Thank you.